Welcome everybody to episode 48 of the Centre Circle podcast. Before we get into the good stuff, just want to say thank you for all the likes, shares, comments, etc. Please keep it up, keep it going. All that stuff helps us grow. Got a few people in the house today. With me, Keith hosting.
Adrian.
That's in the building.
Isaac.
Yeah,
It's going to be one of those ones, isn't it?
Daz is very excited. So yeah, we're going to go through the weekend's fixtures, touching a couple of topics like Mbappe saga seems to be nearly completed, and a few other topics off the field. So
You're not going to give Daz a little moment to breathe?
No, let's just get into it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
we're going to start off with a game that's just not long finished. Arsenal 3, Liverpool 1. Daz, over to you.
No, you know what? I want to hear what you guys got to say first. I don't want to speak first.
You don't want to speak?
No,
I don't want to speak first. I don't want to speak first. I don't want to speak first.
I'll keep it brief. So I think Klopp got his lineup wrong. I think he should have started Nunes. I know Nunes was a doubt because he got a kick in the Chelsea game, but I would have rather him start and just be his nuisance self, and then take him off if need be. Like, obviously, I don't know the extent of the injury, but he came on, seemed okay. I would have started him. Gravenberch, I wouldn't have started in this game myself. I think he's a good player. Hasn't set the world light since he's been with us, but I just think this game might have just been a little step too far for him. Arsenal were brilliant first half. Couldn't fault you guys. Pretty much similar how it's been when we played you recently. Really good first goal. Our goal was quite fortuitous. But then you go into the second half, we start really well. And two things disrupted us. I think Klopp's substitutions were wrong, just in terms of timing and personnel. And Arsenal's second goal just kind of knocked the stuffing out of us. I think we were on top until that goal goes in. And then after that, we just didn't really get a sniff. That's my quick assessment. Isaac, do you want to go in before the two Arsenal fans gloat as they're ready to?
Do you know what, right? Let's hear what. We're massive, innit? Like, honestly, we're massive.
Yeah, we've
like,
this.
for teams like Arsenal, we're massive, innit? It's a big thing. Beating us is a big thing, right? You know, we go back even just a few days, Arsenal released the promo vid for the game that Arsenal did. They didn't do that for City. They didn't do that for Tottenham. They for sure didn't do that for Man United. But when it comes to Liverpool, they roll out the big guns. It's the promo vids on the documentary. My man was playing You'll Never Walk Alone.
Yeah.
Like, we're massive. So I that's what I got from this game. We're massive. I'll leave it at that.
Fair enough. Daz, Finn, over to you two.
All right, let's go. Today was what we needed. As Arsenal fans, players, management, today we turned up. The atmosphere was fantastic from before the game. The team come out, performed until, the last minute of the first half. Liverpool had no shots on target. Like, literally half-time, 1-1, it flattered Liverpool 1-1. There's no way that game should have been 1-1 at half-time. Arsenal totally dominated all the chances, and literally one moment, that's a concentration, 1-1. At half-time now, we're all thinking, oh my God, we've done X, Y, and Z. We've been brilliant. We've done everything we wanted to do. We've nullified Liverpool. We've made our own chances. We're dominant. Without the ball, it was a different kind of Arsenal because Liverpool had a lot of possession, but they wasn't really doing much with it, which was actually refreshing to see that we was actually sitting back. We was compact, but when we were breaking, we were making decisive actions. We had other chances. Saka should have scored, header.
Yep.
We had other chances. And what we're sitting there at half-time thinking, we know what's going to happen now. We've seen the script. We've seen this all before. We're going to fall back a little bit now. Liverpool's going to take over. First 10, 15 minutes of the second half, that's what happened. Liverpool were the better team. I'd agree with you. First, we're thinking, what way is this going to go? And then we get the goal.
Why do you think that is, though?
Sorry?
Why do you think that is?
I think it's such a mental blow to play that well in the first half to concede 10 seconds before the end of the half and you're going in 1-1 and you're back to square one after being so good and doing so many things well, you're back to square one.
Do you not think the substitution played a part in that?
The substitute that Klopp made?
No, Arsenal. Kiwior coming on for his
It was only one sub at half time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's one sub at half time.
I think it had an effect, but not as much as the goal. It had a little effect, but not as much as the goal. I think the goal was what changed it. And then Arsenal needed to recover from that.
Yeah.
And Liverpool could have won the game in that moment, in those 10, 15 minutes when they were on top.
Chances. Diaz had a couple of chances. Curtis Jones had a chance. We weren't, like I say, we were in the ascendancy. And the thing that annoys me about the goal is that it's very rare that you'll get a joint mistake from Alisson and Van Dijk. So it was just like a hopeful ball, really. Like Gabriel just played it. Like I know he's aiming for Martinelli.
Much how we scored us.
Yeah, but
exact same thing.
For what Van Dijk shouldn't have let it bounce for one. So that's like the first mistake. And then when he's kind of shifting it back,
Marty pushed him into Alisson.
It was more of a nudge. Like so he nudged him, and it's like Alisson didn't want to collide into Van Dijk.
No, it's more.
So he didn't fully go for the ball.
Yeah, which is.
But he should have just come, taken everybody out. You know what?
He has to make sure he makes contact on that ball.
You got to take out the keeper.
John, say where the mistake is.
Van Dijk and Martinelli.
Van Dijk shouldn't allow number one. Van Dijk, you're right. They shouldn't let it bounce, and then him allowing, like, come on, look at the size of you to Marty. You're telling me, Marty, no, don't do that. Don't do that.
You're talking about size.
Don't do that.
When you're off balance and you nudge, it doesn't matter what size you are.
Off balance how?
Because he was in the air, he was in mid-air, he's running in stride, and he gave him the nudge.
And the thing is, man, in that moment, Van Dijk's not really thinking about Martinelli. He's thinking about the ball and Alisson, not wanting to go into Alisson. So he's not really focusing so much on Martinelli in that moment.
In terms of not wanting to crash into each other, I get it. You're in a position where you got to make a business decision. Do I write him off or he writes me off?
He made no decision. Though.
What do you mean? That's cost you the game.
I run into him. I write him off, and now I'm injured.
Yeah, but you might have won the game. You might have 3 more points.
All right, so what? We're still 2 points ahead of you.
But psychologically, but again, in terms of the first half, the Daz talked about, Arsenal were in the ascendancy. We concede. Their heads dropped. Flip it. We were on top until that moment, and then because you concede such a shambolic goal. Heads just drop. And it's just like, as soon as that goal went in, I just knew we weren't going to recover.
Yeah. I think the type of goal, definitely. Yeah.
And I think that, like what Daz was mentioning earlier, Daz was saying earlier about the mental state of that, where we were in that game. We was vulnerable. We was there to be taken again. Because we're like, hold on, we dominated again for the first 44 minutes. We concede that goal. And then we come out second half. And then we're just getting onslaught, wave of attacks from them. I think the change, though, that helped was he dropped Jones deeper to play alongside.
Because your 210s were causing havoc.
And then that allowed Trent to be wide. No, Trent came off, didn't he? No, Trent was on still.
So
Trent was wide.
He came off, but eventually.
And then Ben White wasn't coping with the overlap, the overload on that side. So then Ben White was coming in tighter, but then he was giving Diaz that extra width.
Diaz, we need to talk about him first.
Who's that, sorry?
Diaz. We really need to talk about him.
So let's talk about after the second goal. The game sort of just, Arsenal were comfortable after that, it seemed. It seemed that after that, the game just flipped back into how it was in the first half. So where we looked like Arsenal was on top. And to be fair, we've got to give props to the manager. Yeah. Because he's got his tactics today spot on. Yeah.
So you're attributing this to more so to Arkel getting it right than... Mikel getting it right.
Whoa, that's a different thing.
Than Klopp getting it wrong.
I think it's a mixture of both. Yeah. Okay. I think it's a mixture. But if you want to put it that way, I think Arteta has basically, he's had a tactical masterclass over Klopp today.
I would agree. The whole 210 thing and the amount of space and havoc that it caused in between the lines.
It wasn't just the 210, it was the double pivot as well. How Jorginho and Rice were playing as well.
I thought he was outstanding.
Double pivot.
Jorginho, I thought was man. I thought he was outstanding.
Yeah, Sky gave him man of the
match. Without a shadow of a doubt, he was amazing. He has to play every big game for us. Has to play every big game because he brings something completely different. And he's got that, where our team is quite inexperienced, he's got an experienced head. He's been there. He's won things. He's won Champions League. He's won European. No one else in the squad has done that. So I thought
he
brilliant.
gave the team talk before the game started. He was the one giving the team talk at the beginning. He was saying A, B, C. This is what we need to do. But what I liked about him as well, I thought he would have been the deepest midfielder.
Yeah,
and it was often Rice.
Yeah,
but they interchanged at the right time.
Yeah,
it was often Rice that was the deepest, and sometimes even dropped in as a centre back.
Yeah,
to allow Zinchenko to push in. But yeah, it was.
Do you think this performance justifies not having an out-and-out striker?
No.
So you still think, despite being able or showing that you're capable of playing without a big striker, without a clinical striker in the big games, you've shown that you can do it. You still think there's a solid need to get a number?
I think so, because there were times where the ball's out wide and it's fizzed into the box, so like around the 6-yard box, and then there's players in the box, but no one with that striker mental fortitude to get in front of the defender at the near post, get into the near post, and those little nicks,
or a little like a kind of a diverted run like to the back and then to the front.
So then the conundrum there is then that with a striker like that, you don't play with these floating the fluidity, because there was a fluidity to Arsenal. If it wasn't aside from just bombing it down the left wing for Martinelli, there was a fluidity to Arsenal in the fact that they didn't have an out-and-out striker and there was movement, and you saw Saka getting on the end of a chance in the box, or you saw Havertz or etc. So
there is, but I think not having someone to come on to give us that option, because the problem with Eddie, for me, he's not physically strong enough. Like it would have been so much easier for Van Dijk and Konate today, like at the back. Havertz gives you that physicality, like and the option to go direct as well. Because there were times where we could go direct and he's going to bring it down, he's going to flick it on. He done really well today as well.
Yeah, but what I will say to your question is that it's horses for courses. That game, Liverpool, to me, that's just a game in itself by itself. For a different game next week, we're going to need something different. I don't think that's going to work every week. I think that's just a game in isolation because it's Liverpool. It's going to be more tactical. Against West Ham next week, I think you need more. And I think you need more of a goal threat in that person anyway. Havertz does it, but he hasn't got the goal threat for me. That we done a great move. That first goal was a great move. You got the guy who's playing at the top end of your pitch going through one-on-one with the goalkeeper. There's 60,000 people in the stadium. Not one of us thought he was going to score. But did anyone fancy him? Did anyone fancy he's going through one-on-one with the goalie? Did anyone fancy him?
I thought he was either going to miss or it was a save.
It was awful. It wasn't even. He actually just hit it straight at the goalkeeper. And obviously got lucky that Saka went straight to Saka and scored. So if we could get that with someone with a little bit more goal threat, someone at least that going to get some goals. Havertz, he does a bit of stuff different that helps us, but is he ever going to score being up front?
Essentially, a striker with good link-up play would do that well. So, like Harry Kane can drop off, link-up play, but as soon as he plays it off, he's busting a gut to get into the box and be in those positions that we just spoke about.
But even I'll say Jesus does that. Like you want him to score more goals, but I would have backed Jesus to score that goal, to score that chance today. Going through, 100%. So that's the difference.
I think with him, he just lacks the height sometimes, and I think that's what Havertz gives you, that difference where he's tall, and he can do that. But I think that today's game for me also showed that you're still missing a couple of midfielders. That because we dominated midfield today. Like,
no, I disagree.
Liverpool?
No, Arsenal. I think Arsenal dominated.
I thought you said you're missing.
No,
you said you're missing.
No. Yeah, you're missing. That's what I highlight. That you're still missing one or two.
No,
I disagree.
We've got what we need.
Yeah, we've kind of waxed
just
Liverpool
injuries.
about Arsenal. I think with Liverpool, it was just off days. So like, Alisson, good save for Havertz. Unfortunately, fell to Saka, and after that, kind of had brain farts. But it's very rare that Konate and Van Dijk don't play well together. I think Gravenberch was the wrong choice. I think McAllister was excellent again today, and he has been for the last couple months. Diaz, who I've mentioned before and said he needs to do a little bit more. I know he's got a few goals over the last few weeks.
He needs to do more.
But again, he needs to do more. I think it was just an off day for Liverpool, and I think because we haven't had many of those, people are just kind of been like, "Oh, what's going on?" But
if Sobo's there and if Sobo and Endo are there, you don't control that midfield like that. I promise you.
And I hate, but that's what I'm saying. It's highlighting that you're still missing one additional midfielder.
Nah,
in
it's
there.
not. We're
No,
not.
but
We're not
we
missing.
So
don't-
maybe
we
they've
don't
got
need to-
them in the squad,
we
but
don't-
they were missing on the
Yeah,
day.
they were missing
Okay,
today.
yeah.
We don't need to sign any new
Mm.
midfielders
Yeah.
because I think
Our
we're-
midfield, I think
Yeah.
we're fine. Maybe push comes to shove. Yeah, maybe an elite defensive midfielder. But
Because I think with that frees McAllister up a little bit more.
with Endo, you still
Yeah,
he
we've seen.
still does enough.
yeah.
Yeah, I've been critical of him.
So
But
can I
he
just
still
bring up,
doesn't.
can we talk about the manager a bit more? Because both of you, first of all, you both pointed to Klopp, and is this because he's going? Why has he made these changes? These
Right,
free
he's forced to.
Does he
Look at the
normally
players we have.
make these subs like free changes
Yeah,
like that?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's not a new thing. I
Yeah,
think
it's not our
like,
character.
yeah, today it just didn't work. Like sometimes you roll the dice
Mm.
and it works. He rolled the dice today and it didn't pay off. Like I think with Trent, you kind of got to manage it. Like he's just coming back from injury, so
Yeah.
it was his first start.
Robbo's fresh off of injury.
Yeah, Robbo's fresh.
Thiago.
But to be
Mm.
fair, Gomez had been playing well, so I think
Exactly.
that would have been a dilemma. Like,
Yeah,
And unfortunately, what's happened with Bradley?
yeah, Conor Bradley.
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
couldn't
it's,
control that.
for- it's,
That's
like,
how it
Mm.
it's one of those things that you're forced that your hand is forced. You got to play what you have. I agree with you that Gravenberch maybe wasn't the right option, or maybe he wasn't. Maybe just the tactics weren't correct. But
Mm.
yeah, Arsenal just had the better. They had the better performance.
Yeah, it happened. And the last time we lost in North London, we didn't lose for like 5 months. So if that happens again, we might win the league.
There you go.
So
Mm.
let's see. So that puts Arsenal kind of firmly back in the title race now.
Back in the title race for now,
So-
yeah.
For now, I
Yeah.
love that. I love
No,
that.
no,
you did
no,
for
no.
now. I love that.
I've already said it. I don't think Arsenal are going to win the league this year.
No.
But that puts us back into it.
It makes it interesting.
Yeah. Had we lost today, I think that would have been it for us. So for us to win, it puts us firmly back in. But now it's basically everyone's
3-horse race, basically, isn't it?
yeah.
Because everyone will kind of expect Man City to win.
2 horses and a donkey.
Oh, that's not what you're talking about. Liverpool donkey. Liverpool must be the donkey then.
So, yeah, interesting result down at the Emirates today. Well played, Arsenal. I don't think it will have much of an impact on Liverpool. Hope not. But yeah, let's see. All right, let's go to one of yesterday's fixtures. Isaac's favourite team, Luton, nearly causing a major upset up at Newcastle yesterday. So Newcastle 4, Luton 4.
Listen, me and Daz were just exchanging the scores during our match. And it was just like, what's going on? 2-0. What do you mean? 2-1. And it was just back and forth. At one point, we was in the change room. Daz walks in. He's like, have you seen the score?
Crazy.
It was
Crazy.
absolutely crazy. Couldn't believe it.
Yeah. So do we think Luton have maybe changed tactics, or is it just kind of clicking now? So you know how Bournemouth kind of had a little bad run, and then things started clicking for them. They started picking up points, etc. Do we think that's just happened for Luton, but just a little bit later on?
I think, I don't think there's any other way to put it. It just seems like they've clicked. I think Ross Barkley's found his feet.
Yeah.
And he's playing like he's looking for a Euro call. And I think he's a much better option
We'll
than
come on to Phillips and Henderson later.
exactly.
On,
I think he's a much better option if he can maintain his form. Osho, Adebayo, they're firing. So yeah, I can't say nothing. It just looks good for them. It's clicking. It really is clicking. And to be fair, they were playing some very exciting football outside of Burnley in the Championship last season. So
yeah, and the thing is as well, even though they didn't pick up many points, they weren't really getting battered by teams. They were kind of losing by the odd goal or getting the draws.
Well, weren't they?
Yeah, they were always
very competitive, competitive, even when they were losing.
Yeah.
And now I think they just got to grips with the league.
Yeah.
I think that they've realized when they first come in, they were just happy to be here.
probably,
No, but
it's true.
But
It's
then
true.
now they've realized, okay, we're in all these games, like we can do something. And I think the belief is just growing with them. I think they're the ones to watch. I think the other two are gone. I think they're the ones. I think they're still gone, but they're the ones to watch.
Do you think the
Outside
media?
chance.
No, go on.
The ones with the outside chance to stay up.
Yeah.
Do you think the media kind of played into that as well? So like obviously when they first came up, they're like, the minnows with the tiny ground, etc. Do you think all that kind of affected them when they first came up? And not that they didn't really give it a try, but there's a bit of a circus around them, innit? So
Yeah.
now they're just like, no, we're actually established Premiership team now. Let's go out and do it.
I mean, I don't want to be that person, but coincidentally, Tom Lockyer gets injured and now boom, they're firing.
Well, it could be just a bit of a coincidence.
I know. I'm joking.
But yeah, they went behind twice yesterday. So Sean Longstaff scores, makes it 1-0. They get it back to 1-1 with Osho, and then Longstaff scores like pretty much immediately after Osho scores. And then they equalise again, Barkley with a goal. I think he got a goal and an assist yesterday. When they go 4-2 up, I thought they might hang on, but it's a tough ask, isn't it? Like Newcastle away, crowd on side, etc. They didn't quite manage to hold on to the victory. But are you confident they'll stay up? Let's say Everton don't get any points back from their indiscretions. Do you think it's a shootout between them and Luton, or do you think another team might get dragged?
No, there's still Forest is still there.
Forest are there.
Brentford is
ain't
still
too
there.
far, yeah. Brentford ain't too far.
It could. Listen, Palace are 2 losses away from being right in the mix-up, and they're not.
Yeah, I'd say
they're
possibly one. Yeah.
So I think it'll be. I think it's, to be fair, looking at the table now, it's slightly hard to call it right now. I'd say give it 5 more
Then you're
results,
saying,
then I can probably look at it and go, yeah, I think
With 10 games
X,
left.
Y, Z.
I think Everton will be fine because if you look at it, they wouldn't really be there. So their team is a lot better than the rest of them because they wouldn't really be there without the.
But there's a possible points
Second.
deduction coming as well.
Yeah, further one. And
Is
apparently that needs to get sorted out by April, I think.
Yeah.
So is it
'Cause
as
what will
much
happen-
or is it less points?
Pardon?
Is it as many
Well,
points?
Well, it
They
depends.
set the precedent, innit? Like
Yeah.
the precedent's been set with 10.
So we're getting the
But
guarantee.
Isn't that them and Forest as well though?
Yeah,
So
Forest,
if Forest get it as well, then Forest are really in trouble.
Yeah. So they're saying if it's coming soon, the decision's coming soon, but then obviously they need enough time to get their appeal in, and then if they do it in time, they should get a decision before the end of the season. So if they get hit with another 10 points and they get their appeal in, if they do it within enough time, it can get repealed, and then, you know.
Can I just ask you guys a question? What
For
do
the
you
end of the
feel? Obviously, if you look at the table now, the 3 teams that came up, they're literally basically down at the bottom right now in relegation.
Yep.
Do you think the jump from the Championship to the Premier League is getting bigger? Do you feel that it's smaller, or do you feel that it's status quo?
See, this is something I wanted to touch on as well
Mm.
for you before I go.
I think it's getting bigger.
You think it's getting bigger?
Yeah.
Why though? What? But in what sense?
So I think it's hard to, when you go down, and I think Leicester, maybe Leeds are a bit an exception this season. It's hard to retain the Premiership level players.
Despite having the parachute payments.
Yeah, I still think it's quite hard to retain certain players when you go down. So you've essentially got high quality Championship players who you're hoping to kind of get you promoted. If you do get promoted, those players aren't necessarily at the level to kind of keep you in the Premiership. And I think we've seen that with what Nottingham Forest had to do last year. And even with like Burnley and Sheffield United now, like Burnley's major summer signing was Sander Berg, which was a top level Championship player who hasn't made any waves in the Premiership this season. So I think it's hard to get the balance right of even like emerging Premiership, maybe youngsters on loan, etc., that can help you out in some way. Yeah, I just think the gap is massive, basically.
Just before you go, just put a bit of meat on the bones of the question. Reason why I asked it is because we could potentially look at a situation this season where the 3 teams that came up go down, and the 3 teams that went down last season come back up. Because at the Championship, the top 3 in the Championship are the 3 teams that went down last year. So that's why I was asking that question. But yeah, go ahead.
You know what, for me, when I look at it sometimes, it's always going to be that battle, but a lot of it for me is around like tactics, style of play, and what you're prepared to do to stay in the Prem. So like you look at Luton's got an outside chance of staying in. They've seemed to have got the right balance in terms of tactics, playing football, but they also got the physicality where if you look at Burnley, Burnley, quote unquote, was playing the beautiful football in the Championship. But like I said in the last, like a while ago, was they don't seem to have the intelligence or the physicality to remain in the Prem. So 9 times out of 10, you're always going to get 2 of them that will drop and 1 will stay up. And I think that if you look at the history, that tends to be the case. Either 1 stays up and 2 goes down, or all 3 of them will go down. But I think Luton's got the outside chance of staying up, obviously, because they can score goals. They seem to have Ross Barkley's hitting form. Even Sambi Lokonga's is turning in some good performances for Luton. Yeah. I just think it just depends on the team and what style or tactics they're implementing to stay in the Prem.
Well, if they stay up, they'll go straight back down next season. Right. If, let's say those 3 teams come back up, Luton managed to stay up, they will go back down.
Yeah.
Next season. It's not a case of if, it's when.
You never know. They might. They might look at their transfer policy.
So they get all right. Let's just look at it like say they don't have any debt, right? They don't have loads of outgoings going out. They've just got their wage bill. The wage bill will have increased.
Yeah.
If they survive another season, a lot of them players are knocking on the door saying, "Can I get extra money? Can I get extra money?" Because let's look at our contract. Because now we've got another season of TV rights.
Yeah.
So let's say they're pulling in ballpark figure 80 to 90 million extra for TV rights, right? Those players know that they're going to want extra money. So now your wage bill goes up, right? But you don't have a stadium big enough
for match day revenue.
For revenue to come in to maintain this wage bill. So now on top of that, you now also need to want to go out and find new players. Players, like you said, are quality, of a quality or a standard to keep you in the league, but no one wants to come to your team.
Yeah.
Because you don't have your prospects are not great. They're looking at it, sitting there thinking, all right, I'm getting Prem ball.
It'll work out better for them to go down, get the parachute, to build on that.
Do you understand what I'm saying to you? So that's why I look at it and go, they'll stay up. But then, remember, and then the teams that are coming up are Leicester, who've got a massive stadium, who've got the infrastructure.
Southampton.
They're more appealing to a player that wants to come into the Prem. Same with exactly Southampton. Leeds, they're all established teams, more so than Luton. So that's why I look at it and go, if Luton stay up, that's great for them. That's an extra season of money. But that's just money to prepare them for
That's very interesting.
in the champs.
So you think it'll be harder for them to stay up next season than it is this season?
100%.
The second season is harder to stay up than the first.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. Even though in the summer you might be able to attract a better brand of player, you still think it'll be harder next season because of circumstances.
Because players might come because the kind of players you're looking at are the Ross Barkleys, the team players without clubs. And they're the kind of players that are probably going to want to come to your club. And you've got to hope it's a big gamble because Ross Barkley's worked out for them. Yeah. But another player might not.
And the surprise factor's gone as well.
Exactly.
That way you kind of you don't believe in them. You're like,
So teams are turning up saying, we underestimated you last time. This time, we're not doing that.
We're set up.
We're going to deal with you this time. So that's just my view on it. But I don't think there is a talent gap between the champs and the Prem. I think it is quite significant. But I do also think the general level of football or ability of players is reducing as well. I think we are looking at a lot of system players.
Yeah, we've discussed that.
We don't have many mavericks or game changers or playmakers anymore, or players that know how to think on their feet and work things out on the pitch. You have systems. And if the tactics aren't working, the team, you just don't perform.
I think that comes from the coaches though. I think the coaches don't want players to think on their feet. I think they want them to do what the system, I want you to do. In this situation, I want to do this. In that situation, I want to do this. It's not, back in the day, it would be like, you can think on your feet and do what your instinct is. But now, you've got to play for every situation, and I think it's a bit too. I think it's a bit too much.
In-game decisions by yourself. Now it's like, no, I don't want you to deviate from that.
Yeah, this is what we're doing.
Staying here.
Exactly. So the reason why I say that is, yes, there's a gap, but that ceiling's coming down. So eventually, the gap is gonna get smaller and smaller because you're gonna find a lot of players in the Prem are more so athletes than actual in cerebral footballers.
Yeah, it's a bit like I don't know if you saw it maybe a few weeks ago. when Cam Newton was talking about NFL players, he's like talking about game changers
Yeah.
and game managers.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's about how you balance between the two and the difference between what the
Yeah.
two
Yeah.
are.
Yeah. 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 And it's again another. I think it was Riquelme or someone that used to like a big well-known player, and they were talking about watching that, and it was Eden Hazard as well. He recently said something about this as well, but I can't remember exactly what they said. But the sentiment, the general sentiment was, we are losing that authenticity or the playmakers, the beautiful football. It's all just, if you want to make it to the top now, you've got to just be
play this system.
Play the system and be a top level athlete.
I saw a quote from the Argentina manager, Scaloni. He was saying that players nowadays are being overcoached.
Yes, because he was talking about his sons.
As well. His sons are in Spain.
Yeah.
And he was saying that they're being overcoached.
Yeah.
So that
I totally think that. I think that's maybe a topic we should open up.
Right.
Just quickly on Newcastle, 9th in the league now. What's good for them? A decent FA Cup run and finishing.
That's poor
The
though.
fall off is so crazy, man.
I thought we knew it was coming.
Nah.
You said it.
Yeah, like
No, but on the pod,
really
I've been
didn't.
hearing Eddie Howe this, Eddie Howe that. But in the summer, Eddie Howe was this, Eddie Howe was that. This is poor.
I agree with that.
This is
poor.
poor.
I know injuries have affected them, but this is poor.
I think it was that kind of momentum in it, that the buzz. Oh, we've got this money. This is the guy. He's coming with a certain energy. But now, when you need to actually implement tactics, and think outside the box and be creative, and he hasn't got that next level in him. Like, and that's what I've watched him. He's been alright. Sorry, he's been alright. But I think, like I said, how he's managed players, certain tactics he's played. I just don't think he can be that top 4 manager.
Yeah, he's not going to be there. I don't think he'll be there beyond this summer.
There's another conversation in this. Sorry.
That's right.
But I know
conversations.
there's another conversation.
But yeah, we all kind of agree that Newcastle's drop-off is more drastic than we thought it would.
Yeah.
I don't think they would have been back in the Champions League this season, but I thought they would have been closer to the Champions League position than what they are. So yeah, let's keep an eye on that.
But just a quick last word on Luton. A big up to them because scoring 4 at St James's, that's quality. You can't knock that
at all.
Very true.
That's on Newcastle. Though. Where do you think Gordon belongs?
What in terms
What do you
of
mean?
league?
No, as a player, like right now, like because he must be knocking on the door
For England.
I would say, yeah.
for England. He must be because like he's played left, he's played right, he's played up. He played up front.
Yeah, he was doing that for Everton. He was Everton's main striker at one
but
point.
you can see the real quality in it. I'm like, this guy must be knocking on the
Yeah,
door.
I think so.
No, I
agree with that.
think he's a winger. I think he's an
Yeah,
out and
he's a good
out.
player.
100%. But
I think Man United would love him right now. Yeah, that kind of player. He's quick, bit tricky.
he's got a pass.
Yeah, I think
And he was instrumental for England when they won the under-21s tournament. I think he got
very
player of
true.
the tournament. So
So we're saying Newcastle a bit of a stepping stone club at the minute, yeah? Even
Well,
though they've got
I think he's
all these
I think
riches.
he's at the right club, but in terms of I think he's knocking on the door for England. I totally agree with that.
Yeah, definitely. Right, moving on to another one of yesterday's games. Everton 2, Tottenham 2. So, yeah, Richarlison returning to his former club. Could tell he wanted to celebrate. Like the first one.
I was surprised he did.
He was about to tear off.
Yeah.
And then he's like, oh, nah, let me just tone it down a little bit. But it's a really good finish. To be fair, both his goals were really good. Like, he's hitting a bit of form. Like, we've all kind of slandered him over the last kind of 18 months, etc., since he's been at Tottenham. But yeah, he's hitting a bit of form, doing pretty well.
Just having a coach that really believes in him has made a difference, and just giving him directions in terms of when to make the run and what I need from you. His hold-up play was quite decent as well. And against, I was like, okay, I was quite impressed by that as well.
And obviously, Maddison coming back for them, like it was his first Prem start since the back end of last year, I believe it was.
Didn't he start against Brentford?
Oh, did he?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah,
I
yeah.
must have missed
Came
that.
off.
Oh, yeah,
Started
he came
the-
on in the FA Cup, didn't he?
Yeah,
Sorry.
yeah.
Apologies, But yeah, he's like back to pulling the string. Do you think Richarlison's benefiting from Son not being around?
100%. I was about to say that. I think when you know that you're going to be starting and you basically, you know that the next 3, 4, 5 games, you are going to be starting. You
You're
have
the guy.
that's pressure. You've got
Exactly.
that. Yeah.
I can make a mistake. I'm not going to think. I'm not going to miss a shot and then look over at the bench and be like, do you know what I mean? Like, I can miss a shot and just get back in position and try to go again.
100%.
Totally agree with you.
But should that be in his mindset though? Like you're a top level baller, you're number 9 for Brazil. Why are you worried about a man from South Korea? Like,
No, but Son is the man at Tottenham. It's not Richarlison. Son's the man. So when Son's not there, you can then become the man. That's the difference. People ain't looking for if you're at Tottenham, you Madison. If Son's there, he ain't looking for Richarlison. Son, he ain't looking for.
And I think for Brazil, though, they made it clear we haven't got another 9. You're going to be the main number 9 for
they
us.
ain't got other players to be.
There you go. So. But when I watched that game, I was like, Everton was missing like maybe a flair player, another flair player to like really cause havoc. They missed Onana as well. Like that was a big miss in that game.
I don't understand how big teams not come from either.
Well, the rumour was we were looking at him. I think Man United's been looking at him as well.
Yeah.
And they missed him in the middle. Like even though Everton for the first 50 minutes they were quite dominant in the midfield area, him not being there, I think swayed the game in Spurs' favour. And allowed him to come back in.
Yeah.
Did you guys see Everton's first goal? Vicario thought he should have got a foul. I didn't think it was
Just another one of those ones. Same like James Trafford.
I think it was less than that. Like he got a little bump. Yeah. Like he should have been stronger in it. Like it's just one of those. But I think Tottenham will feel a bit aggrieved they didn't see this game out. Like I wouldn't say they dominated, but they were on top for the majority of the game. I think concede like a 94th minute equaliser would have been a bit of a kick in the teeth. They still seem to be the media darlings. Like one of the headlines I saw was one of the worst performances of the season, but they're still going in the right direction. Oh, Ange is so personable in the press conference.
Yeah, they love him.
Do you think it's going to get to a point where they might turn on him just because?
I think the media, like they turn on the team or a manager when he keeps on playing the same style and there's no real significant improvement in terms of position or winning a trophy. So you could say, all right, you're playing this style of football, but you're not in the FA Cup no more, you're not in the League Cup no more, you're not in Europa League. And I think that's when they will change on him. But they're going to give him that room to put the team together. But I think, I don't think Timo Werner's a great signing. I think he's a stop.
No, I don't think they signed him as a goal scorer. I think they signed him as a creator.
I think he's got about 3 assists though.
Yeah,
he's got
a few assists since he's been there. So I can see why people might say he might not be a good signing in terms of goal output. But I think Ange hasn't signed him to be a particular goal threat. I think for his pace.
And if you start looking at him as a goal threat, your perception of that signing would change.
Yeah,
massively.
very much so.
And with the media, they do that, innit? They build you up to tear you down. So with Ange at the moment, it's the build-up thing. And to be fair, they've made progress. They have made progress. The football's a lot better than what it was previously. So you've got to give them props at the moment.
And would you say it's between them and Villa for the final Champions League place?
You know me, I'm not writing off United. I'm not writing off Man United. I'm not writing
So
them
Man
off.
United are on 38 points, and we'll come on to their game. So they're 6 points behind Tottenham in 5th, 8 points behind Villa, who are 4th. You think they'll close that gap?
It's a stretch, but I'm not writing it off. I'm not writing. I will say United's not out of that.
Fair enough. And we could kind of touch on Everton briefly in the last segment. Are they safe depending on what the points deduction is? Like if they get slapped with another point deduction, they're down, isn't it?
Well, another 10, yeah. If they got another 3, 4 or something like that, I'll still back them.
I think if they get another 10, they're done.
Oh, yeah.
Their mentality,
you can't build.
You can't build that back. Yeah. 1, fine, we'll hang it. We're there or thereabouts. But 2, nah.
Man. All right. Let's go to one of today's games. Chelsea 1, Wolves 4.
No, it's 2. It's 2.
Was it 2?
Yeah,
Sorry, I missed that goal, sorry. Yeah. Chelsea 2, Wolves 4.
Still not much better. I ain't much better.
Still snapping.
What really is there to say about Chelsea at this point? They don't have enough experience in that squad.
So I thought they turned the corner, right? So there was a period where they would at the start of the season, they'd lose a couple of home games, maybe get a decent result against one of the bigger teams, like they drew with City, etc. But before they lost to Liverpool, they was on like a run of 3 games. So I thought I didn't expect them to come away from Liverpool. But I was like, Wolves are not going to beat them. They're just going to.
Why would you not think Wolves are going to?
No, I didn't think Wolves would beat them either.
Yeah,
really? I thought Wolves would beat them.
What, at the Bridge?
Yeah.
No, I didn't think they would,
haven't
man.
been consistent at the Bridge.
Yes, but
They've been making goals.
Yeah, but they like.
And you didn't think your boy was going to get a result? Gary O'Neill?
Yeah,
well, I didn't expect it.
Yeah, I think they won 3 games going into the Liverpool game. Didn't expect them to win that. They didn't. But I thought, right, they'll get back on track against Wolves. And yeah, Cunha was like, not on my watch. Essentially had scored all 4 goals, isn't it? Because they gave the own goal. So, and I think Chelsea went 1-0 up in this game as well. So you think, right, they go 1-0 up, they'll kick on, get back on track.
I don't know if it's experience. There's just imbalance in that team, like
physicality. But that's where the experience comes in.
But being physical in the game, like I look at Modric, I think actually he's quite good going forward with the ball, but he's a bit too light. Then you look in the middle, Conor Gallagher's not good enough.
He's not good. He's just a bull in a china shop.
He's the skipper, you know. So when you start going around that team, I'm like, I'll be honest, I don't think, was it Colwell?
He's really gone off.
I can't see what the...
Yeah, he didn't play today though.
But even before then, I couldn't see
what
that was.
I think to give him grace, he's been playing left back.
Yeah,
he's not.
But he can play there. He was doing. He can play there.
Yeah, he can play. Yeah, he can play there, but it's not. You can see he's not comfortable.
He should have. And this is what comes when you have something good, and then you go, I want to go back and prove my. Probably should have just stayed at Brighton. He really should have just stayed at Brighton.
It's alone. It went up to him.
Yeah,
I mean.
But if you go through Chelsea's team, so like I'll just run through like Petrovic. Obviously, he's not their number 1 goalkeeper because Sanchez isn't great anyway.
2 goalkeepers are not good.
No, he's their number 1 now.
Oh, I thought Sanchez was still easy.
No, Petrovic has to be number 1.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Gusto started the season well, but again, not levels. Disasi,
Pants.
He might come good, but right now he's not there. Thiago Silva, Binz and I had a conversation before we started recording. He shouldn't be playing the amount of games he's playing. Like he should just be
here and there.
That experienced player around the dressing room who comes in for the last 10 minutes to show up a game. That's it. Chilwell on his day, really good defender, but hadn't really shown much. I think Caicedo and Fernandes, the price tags are weighing on them because they're not delivering in it. To be fair, though, Caicedo's pass to Palmer today was.
And on top of that, if you actually look at Caicedo's stats, he's actually up there in ball winning, tackles, all of that. He's actually quietly he's actually performing. It's just he's in that position where it's a thankless position, right?
Yeah. And then you got Palmer, Gallagher, Sterling. He's touched on Gallagher. Palmer's a baller. Sterling can ball out, but it's a bit inconsistent so far this season. And then you got Nkunku up top, who will come good.
He will, yeah.
I think. So I think half the team is good, and there's promise, and the other half is trash, basically.
So can we talk about the manager then? Because how do we think he's performing? Because there's talent there.
Yeah, there is.
They shouldn't be where they are in the table. So I have to look at him and think, why are they performing to such a poor level?
Do you think Pep or Klopp gets more points with that Chelsea team?
Yeah, 100%.
Because like you say,
and Arteta.
Yeah.
Man just threw in Arteta,
And Arteta.
Yes. Yeah, I think they do. Like I think it's weird because Pochettino's not a bad manager. He's just not elite. And
Is he really not a bad manager though?
No, I don't think.
He's not a bad manager.
I don't think he's a bad manager. I just don't think he's elite. And when you've got an elite manager, you can squeeze performances out of players.
Are we basing this on his time at Tottenham
and Southampton?
Tottenham.
Yeah.
PSG was a fact. Like a lot of you.
Let's disregard PSG.
Yeah, because like a lot of people have gone into PSG. Like he came here from, I want to say Sociedad to Southampton, possibly.
Yeah, probably.
wouldn't say he turned Southampton around, but got them playing like decent football, etc. Got the notice of Tottenham.
Until they got raided and then he bounced.
Yeah. Got the notice of Tottenham, done fairly well. And to be fair, like remember the summer they got to the Champions League final, they didn't buy anyone. Like, Levy would like, yeah, I'm taking his money and I'm putting it elsewhere. Like, he was kind of, hands were tied a little bit, innit? So I know his end at Tottenham weren't great.
Do you think it's something around having full control or the perception of full control? Yeah, so when you look at Chelsea, like he's walked into Chelsea and then players are signed, not all of them are his ideal signing. Where at Tottenham, even though he never had full control of some of them that did come in, he was able to say, all right, this is the missing pieces that I need. Is he there with Chelsea? And hence why he may need more time.
Yeah, I don't think many of these
players. But these players they're not entirely rubbish.
I hear you. But what I'm saying is he can say, right, I need the right back. That's not the right back. I need to get that right back. I need this centre midfielder. Because at the moment, who has he really signed in that team?
But that's the thing. But he's never gonna get to sign anyone because he knew that before he went into Chelsea. You know that's how Chelsea runs. You don't sign the players. The structure signs
direct. Yeah, and this is what I'm saying. So when you looked at Southampton, they had a structure, but he had a big say. Tottenham, he got given this, but he had a big say. And then when he wanted to push for better players, that's when Levy said, "No, I'm not giving you no more money." And then that's when it dropped off.
Yeah.
So when we say he's got total control, or what's perceived to be total control, he does a lot better. Where at Chelsea, he hasn't been given that yet total control, and he can't find the best 11.
He's never going to get that control. Never going to get. So he knew that before he went in. So you've accepted that. That's the terms of the job. So we got to judge you on what you've accepted the job to be.
Yeah, I think unless they finish bottom half of the season, which is a distinct possibility, he still gets given another year. Because there's no point a new manager coming in
to start
from scratch like after 1 year. I think you got to give him next season, and then if it continues, like if he's 11th in 12 months' time, then you can say, right, we might need to look at something different.
And they're on the FFP watch as well, aren't they?
Yeah.
So they're like trying to get rid of Rojo for 50 mil. Like, in what world?
Yeah. Crazy. So yeah, good win for Wolves. They're 10th in the league. Like, they leapfrogged Chelsea. 1 point behind Newcastle. Gary O'Neill doing well. Like, I think if Wolves finish in the top half of the season, top half of the league, this season, that's a really good season for him. Considering he joined like the week the season was starting. He had no pre-season with them.
And he's missing his striker as well. Runs away in the Asian Cup, right?
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Hung.
So, yeah, he scored in the other day.
Keep don't rate him.
It's
effective. I like
it. So yeah, I think Gary O'Neill's kind of shown his credentials really, really well.
And they've got some good players in there. They've got Kilman.
Yeah.
The left back. And a couple of big teams are looking at him.
Nori.
Yeah.
I like Nori, yeah. He's a good player. No, Keith, it's the other one you don't rate. Fabio. That was the one you
I know, he left though, innit?
Yeah.
And they just put St. Johnny on loan as well, innit?
Oh, really?
Apparently he was having internal issues with the gaffer and some other stuff. So they just said, yep.
Yeah. And obviously they got Neto as well, who they may not hang on for too much longer.
And is it Podence?
No, he's gone.
He's gone.
He got sold.
Yeah. Daniel Podence. Yeah, he's gone.
Wolves are doing well, and that's another. Wolves generally don't score goals, but they've scored what? They scored 4. Scored 4 today, and then they scored how many against United the other day? 3 as well.
Yeah.
7 goals in 2 games.
They should have at least got a point. They'd be kicking themselves after that. Oh wow! Right, another one of today's fixtures: Man United v West Ham. 3-0. Man United.
Højlund's first goal was good, you know.
Very
well
very
taken.
Good.
Yeah, very
pure
goal.
strike, back of the net
with his weaker foot.
Yeah, he looks like a boy is on form, mate. He looks like he's found his form.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of pressure on him, innit? And then it just seems to just kind of been like he's just been told, just go and play football with it, rather than go and play with the fact that you're like a £70 million striker. Just go and play football and see if the goals come, and they have. I think he's played pretty well of late.
And he's not getting caught up in that physical battle. Remember before when he was like, I need to show you that I'm strong.
Yeah.
He's not doing that no more. He's mixing it at the right time. Yeah, I'm going to show you a bit of muscle. Actually, I'm going to peel off, give an angle. Yeah, so I think he's mastering the position now. He's understanding it.
Yeah, definitely. And then the victory rounded off by 2 goals by Garnacho. I think the first one took a deflection, but it's been given to him. And then the second was a really good finish set up by McTominay. So
A mistake by Phillips.
So yeah, I was about to come on. I was about to come on to Phillips. So I was going to tweet something when the game was going on, and say I think he had a better chance of going to the Euros not playing for Man City than he does playing for West Ham, because the performances granted, it's only been 2 performances, but the 2 performances he's put in have not been very good, and unless Southgate is hell-bent on keeping together his core of players, there's no way this guy should be anywhere near the...
No tape is better than bad tape.
Mhm.
Yeah, and you've put bad tape out there now.
That
Tape
is
is
it.
better than bad tape.
That is it.
Did you also see the thing from Di Maria to Garnacho?
Oh, about the celebration.
Yeah, you see it?
No, I didn't see it.
He said he put out a statement. He was asked a question. He said something like, "If I was Garnacho, I'd stop celebrating like Cristiano Ronaldo." So obviously, because they're all they're Argentinian, right? So he scored, and the first thing he does goes and sits on the thing like Cristiano.
Yeah, and the picture they took of him, Højlund, and Mino together, that was a cold picture still.
Yeah.
Right? It was good. It was good. So yeah, I'm not surprised that Phillips went to West Ham, but I don't think they actually needed him.
Who?
West Ham.
Who?
Phillips.
Oh.
So yeah, so a
Do
bit.
you think that was a panic because of Paqueta? And then it gave them an option of pushing Ward-Prowse a little bit further forward in certain games?
Possibly, but they got Alvarez, and like I think he's done fairly well this season. Like West Ham are sitting 7th in the league. Like I know there's rumblings about should Boy stay and go, etc. But West Ham being 7th in the league is really good as far as I'm concerned. Like they top their Europa League group. Like I don't see why there's kind of a panic around them. But yeah, I don't see what Phillips, other than being an international, has had a good career up to a certain point. I don't see the benefits of Phillips. Like I don't see him elevating them to another level personally. I might be wrong.
I agree.
There's still like 15, 16 league games, depending on how many games you played so far. So yeah, we'll see. Man United back-to-back victories now. Are they gonna kick on? Not asking you, Daz, because I know what you think. Do you think they'll kick on with this? Let's see what they got next. They got Aston Villa away next Sunday, so that'll be a marker, wouldn't it? Like I know Villa got beat at home by Newcastle midweek, but I still think this will be like a marker for Man United. If they can go there and win at Villa Park, I think they might be like, oh, okay, we can.
That's gonna be a good game.
Yeah, we can get a result at these teams who are kind of our competition now, so to speak.
So they've got Luton, Villa, Luton, United, and Fulham before City.
Villa, Luton, Fulham. So they ideally would want at least 6 points from that, innit? Going into the City game. So yeah, let's see how they get on. Speaking of Villa, excuse me, smoked Sheffield United.
That's what you're supposed to do with teams when they're inferior to you. Just destroy them completely.
Yeah, they just put their foot on their necks and just didn't release it. Like it was crazy. So McGinn opens the scoring in the 12th minute. Then Watkins gets a goal, 16th minute. Bailey after 20 minutes. And then after 30 minutes, it's 4-0. And you think this could be another 8-0 drubbing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then I wouldn't say they kind of took their foot off the gas in the second half, but Sheffield United were a little bit more compact, apart from the first 90 seconds when Moreno made it 5-0. So good bounce back from Villa after their midweek defeat. Sheffield United just looked abject. Like I know they brought in Chris Wilder to kind of change things, but nothing seems to have changed really. It just seems to be kind of same old. It's just a case of when are they mathematically relegated?
But I think he kind of admitted that in his press conference, his early one, where he said, "I'm just building them back up to come back up, basically, and getting certain things in place for the return, basically." Because, like you said, they're not good enough.
I watched this game, and they were poor. They were really poor. Aston Villa didn't even have to do much really to get their goals, and then literally after half an hour, like fans were leaving.
Yeah, that's bad.
Really bad.
That's bad. And before, I think it was Wednesday, Watkins hadn't scored for six games. Got a goal and 2 assists yesterday. We've had that second English striker conversation quite a few times. I think he's kind of cementing it at the moment, considering how well he's playing. Aston Villa in the Champions League, too much of a stretch?
And I was just thinking about, why? Yesterday they had a chance to concede, and the way they defended that to keep the clean sheet was like they were 5-0 up. They didn't really have to double save on the line and then throwing the bodies in front of the ball. I think that's going to give them the momentum. Like, it's going to be close, but I think they've got Douglas Luiz. He's hitting the form at the moment.
Yeah, he's a very good player.
He's showing his quality. Kamara, that midfield three of him again.
Bailey's playing really well as well.
Bailey's playing
and
well.
you've got Diaby to come on as an option.
Diaby came off the bench. Like, it's good. Would it be more weird seeing Villa in the Champions League than it was seeing Newcastle this season?
No, Villa's won the Champions League.
Yeah, we know.
Actually,
we're talking about new Villa.
And they've got United.
Not old Villa.
And they've got Unai Emery. European specialist. European specialist. I wouldn't expect them to do anything. I wouldn't expect them to get out of the group. I'd expect them to fall into the Europa League.
They got better pedigree than Newcastle.
That's a good shout.
No, I expect them to get through the group.
Think so?
But then I expected Newcastle to get through as well.
They were close.
And they come bottom.
Yeah, they should have, to be fair. But I think it will be an interesting battle for that fourth Champions League spot.
Could be 5 though. Just remember that's still up for grabs.
Yeah, I don't think I think we're third at the minute, and you've got to be in the top 2 of the coefficient.
You need Arsenal or City to win it.
Or just Villa or Liverpool to do well in the...
No, you get more coefficient.
I know you get
points,
more points.
So not them competitions.
To be fair,
ain't giving you the points.
It's the Europa League teams that help bumping up our coefficient for topping the groups. Like Man United and Newcastle didn't do nothing for the coefficient. So we need those Conference League and Europa League.
But Villa Conference League, didn't they? So they could win that.
Carry on doing well. What game we
We're going to talk about Southgate going to...
Oh, I'm just gonna quickly round off the games before we talk about the other topics. So yesterday we had what's the motorway between
M23 Derby.
M23 Derby. That's it. I don't even understand how that's a derby, to be fair.
I've never understood it either.
Never understood it. But yeah, Brighton beat Crystal Palace 4-1. Pretty abject performance from Crystal Palace. Not their first one of the season or of late. I've said I don't think Roy Hodgson's going to see out the season personally. I don't think... Yeah, I can't see it. And as we mentioned earlier in the pod, they're in jeopardy of being dragged into the relegation fight, and something needs to change quick before it gets a bit too perilous. And they've got Chelsea next. Brighton needed that win after kind of Luton's performance in midweek. And yeah, let's see how both those teams kick on. And then Burnley and Fulham saw out a 2-2 draw. Quite a good comeback from Burnley. They were 2-0 down, seemed pretty much dead and buried, but the on-loan Chelsea striker came in with 2 goals for Fana. Scored 2 goals to get them back level. There were 2 quite good goals, actually. Be interesting. Chelsea have got all these players out on loan. They can't put the ball in the back of the net themselves. Maybe they should be giving these guys a try, but who knows, eh? And then last of today's fixtures was Bournemouth v Nottingham Forest. 1-1. Clivert scoring for Bournemouth. Hudson-Odoi scoring for Nottingham Forest. Billing got sent off late for Bournemouth. I didn't see what for. But if we just have a quick cruise of the table. So Liverpool are still top, 51 points. Arsenal second, 49. Man City on 46 points, but with 2 games in hand over both those teams. They play away at Brentford tomorrow. Bottom of the table, you got Sheffield United on 10 points, Burnley on 13 points, Everton on 19 points. So, right, we're just going to talk about a couple things off the field before we wrap up today. So, there are a few leaks yesterday. A few notable journalists said that the Mbappe deal to Real Madrid is pretty much all but confirmed, just waiting on announcements. We spoke about this a few times. Football's unfair, isn't it? How can Real Madrid, all the riches that they've got and players that they have at the minute, sign arguably one of the best players in the world unchallenged?
Who can afford him? That's what it boils down to.
He's free.
Exactly.
He's free,
No,
though.
but who can afford his wages?
You can afford him.
Who?
I think teams could afford him.
Of course.
There's no transfer fee. There's no transfer fee.
So the wages are going to be, we're talking at least 600k a week.
Oh, and the rest.
Yeah,
I'm just talking basic.
But then you got teams that are paying 100 mil transfer fee, so you could just transfer that 100 mil into his wages.
600k basic.
Yeah, how much is that a year?
Let's whip out the calculator.
It's not how much is that a year. Well, you got Bayern Munich just bought Harry Kane for 100 for 100 mil. So why could they not afforded Mbappe?
Yeah, but if you think about the wages, like he'll be nearly £1 million a week.
All
in
7.2 million. Basic.
That's a year.
A year.
So 100 million, how many years is that covering? That's covering 10 years.
You're gonna
and then wages, isn't it? Like,
well, no, but you're getting it for free. So
I understand what you're saying. I understand what you're saying.
Just goes to his wages. You've got Mbappe for 10 years.
But then a lot of teams are gonna want to buy other players. But, so unless you're selling to buy, not everyone's doing that. But I understand what you're saying. That 100 million, or in Mbappe's case, let's say 200 million, you're gonna spend that on his wages, right?
Yeah.
But a lot of teams will have wage structures in place, right? We're not trying to go over. We're only committing to spend, let's just say, 6 million a week on wages, right? Because it's everyone, 6 million a week on wages. Mbappe comes in and his basic wage is 10% of your wage bill already, not including goal bonus, appearance bonus. Like, remember when Miles and Chris come on and told us about all these other, just how many headers you get, how many strikes you get, not all these other bonuses, just basic 600k.
But, and I hear this, and I'm not disputing what you're saying, but a player like him is going to bring in different TV deals, sponsorship, so you can structure a deal that will be able to pay his wages, and you're not going to struggle.
Not every deal, not every team can do that.
No, not every team. Liverpool can. Arsenal could. Man United could.
So you're talking about the kind of deal that Messi got, where Apple are paying part of his wages.
Yeah, but that's good.
Even without that, when you're talking to shirt sales, and what I'm saying is that if Mbappe walked up to Arsenal right now and said, "I want to sign for you," can you make it happen? I believe they could.
Yeah, but they'll probably have to sell people, shift around their wage structure.
No, they would have to.
Who's Mbappe's boot? Is he Nike?
Nike.
Yeah.
So if he went to Arsenal, because you're Adidas, it would struggle in it. But I think if he went to a team that shirt sponsor was Nike, they'd be like, right, let's make this happen, innit? Like, add a bit here, blah blah blah.
Yeah. I think it could be done.
I don't think Real Madrid are paying everything for Mbappe like this.
There's TV deals. Everything.
And there's a lot of it, like, even his wage, some of it's commercial and stuff like that. When you talk about rights and stuff like that, he's probably going to get a percentage and all that. Like, I think there's not lots of teams that can do it. But
there's only 3 teams.
I wouldn't say it's just Real Madrid.
I
wouldn't say it's just Real Madrid. I would say there's about 6 teams that could do it.
Nah.
Name them. What? Name them.
Man City could do it.
Yeah.
Chelsea could even do it if they wanted to.
Real
Madrid could do it. Why couldn't Chelsea do it?
Chelsea can.
Chelsea can do it.
And they're sponsored by Nike.
I don't think Chelsea could afford him.
You don't think Chelsea? No, I
No.
think Chelsea
With
good.
all the players on their books.
I think Chelsea good.
What if
With
they're doing
all
those
the players on their books.
death
I
row
think-
contracts,
I
man?
think Chelsea could do it.
I think it could only be City, Real Madrid. I think I think it could only be them.
I think Liverpool could do it.
No, but do it and not be crippled.
I think
like,
Arsenal
with
could
no
do it.
constraints. Like it doesn't affect you anywhere else commercially, transfer wise.
I mean,
commercial
why do people ignore the fact that wages can cripple a club? Look at Barcelona.
Yeah, like
Having to they were wheeling and dealing just to keep Messi's wage on the books. Messi accounted for more than 50% of their wage.
and it didn't work.
No, it
It
did
did.
work because
They won.
they won how many?
Yeah, but look at them now. They had to let him
Yeah,
go.
but remember they did let him go in it.
yeah,
with
but
Haaland.
look at them now. They're still compared. They're still what, second in the league,
Bro, they're
still in the Champions League.
struggling financially.
Yeah,
but they're still in the Champions League.
But
it's put them on the back foot in it.
But that wasn't because of Messi per se. That was because they were giving too many all the others, what I'm saying, a big contract. So then that Messi added to it. But what I'm saying, when you're giving everyone ridiculous amount of money as well, that adds to that situation. And I hear what you're going to say now. You're going to say, but that's the same Mbappe would do. I think you can structure it in such a way that it doesn't impact on the club that way.
Yeah, well, obviously they can afford it. Done
Why are
deal
we
for the
forgetting about?
Liga.
And then we're also forgetting about FFP.
FFP, European
Yeah,
FFP, doesn't
FFP,
it?
don't
Like-
count.
Yeah, so they'll be favourites for the Liga next season, Champions League,
Favourites.
everything. Like, just
Nailed on.
Ancelotti be
Nailed
rubbing his
on.
hand, like working.
That's all
with
they
us.
needed. That's all they needed.
Ain't he leaving next?
Is he staying? No, I thought he was gone. Yeah, I thought he was gone.
Going
Oh,
to-
is he
he's
gone?
going to do the Brazil job, isn't he?
No,
Yeah.
Brazil hired someone. He hasn't. Yeah, Brazil hired someone a couple of weeks ago.
I thought
Yeah.
Ancelotti was leaving.
That's all right. Yeah.
Well, yeah, let's see. But yeah, that's the kind of news that's making the waves in a minute. Quickly want to touch on Gareth Southgate. So we know he's kind of been like, if you're not playing in England, it's a bit harder for you to get an England squad. Don't really go out and watch other overseas players. But Jordan Henderson made his Ajax debut yesterday.
They did.
And who was in the stand watching? Gareth Southgate.
Still never been to Italy.
That's the point I was going to make. Like, if you're in and around the England squad, like, how do you think that would make you feel? Knowing that he's clearly got his favourites and he's making exceptions for certain players. Even though you performed at a high level, he hasn't even potentially maybe sent one of his assistants or he's come out and watched you. I think Tomori's been in Italy maybe 3 years. He's like
3
his third
years
season
now.
now.
Yeah.
And he hasn't
Fourth
come and
season, I
watched
think, yeah.
one, like, what?
Won the Scudetto.
Yeah. Italy's what, a 3-4 hour flight, if that?
You know what else it is that one, but two, Henderson's age. What are you doing with that? Why are you still focusing on that player? Like, I'm like, all right, it's time to phase you out. Actually, I wouldn't even
Him
pick
going
you
to
anymore.
Saudi was the perfect opportunity for him to say thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah.
And he didn't. And now he's gone to Ajax. He's turned around and said, which is a lower level than Serie A.
Mhm.
It's the seventh I think it's currently ranked
Yeah, it's not top
in
5.
terms of top leagues.
Yeah.
And Ajax, who they were struggling at a point. Yeah, they've gone on a 12-game unbeaten run, but they were struggling.
Yeah.
The level in the Dutch league's not great.
But they lost as well, didn't they? The game we went and watched.
No, 1-1.
Yeah.
Oh, was it 1-1?
1-1. I mean, if I'm an England player on the fringes trying to get in and I'm seeing that, I'm counting down the days till Gareth leaves, honestly. I'm counting down the days.
Yeah. And it'll be interesting to see what players he selects for the friendlies. I think it's next month. I think next month for the last friendlies before
We know
he
what,
has to
we
name the
know
squad.
exactly who's getting
So like we
picked.
mentioned kind of Barkley, like Ward-Prowse's name's been in there, etc.
I think he's going to go with Maine.
Mate, you mad? Southgate is
No,
not
as
even
an
on the radar.
outsider,
Not even on the radar.
I'm with Binns.
he's going to go with him. That's easy.
I think his name's
You get
going to
rid of
get banded
Phillips.
about.
You get you can oust Phillips with that player and you can ignore Barkley. I'm going with someone younger.
And say you brought in fresh blood.
I think
Yeah.
he will be the next cycle after the Euros.
Yeah.
I can't see him coming. I can't see him coming
his
before the
performance
Euros.
is-
If he keeps playing like this, I would not be surprised.
No, I think he's going to be in there. That
I'm
goal,
not-
the,
I'm not
the
saying
goal
he
he
shouldn't
scored
be.
in midweek against Wolves.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
yeah. I'm not saying he shouldn't be. I just don't see like there hasn't been enough media hype around him to get in the England squad.
What?
Get in the England squad.
You don't think?
No,
No, I don't
no.
think so.
Listen to what I'm saying. There's not been enough media attention for him to get in the England squad to force Gareth's hand. So you see all these players that have come through is because it happened with Grealish and it happened with who's the latest guy? Even Palmer getting in the last squad. The media were like, yeah, he's got to do it. He's got to do it. Gareth can't leave him out. Then his hands were forced. I think if there was more media clamoring for listen, Maino could solve a problem here, then I think he might do it. I don't think he'd do it off his own back.
And I disagree because Palmer's he's a flair player, he's a forward player, he's an attacking player. They're struggling attacking wise. Like Rashford, hot and cold. Grealish,
even
his league form for Man City.
Even Maddison took him ages to look at Maddison, and everyone can see Maddison was a baller.
But I think that's what you need. I think before the clamour comes, you need to be consistently performing. I don't think Mainu is in the Man United squad enough. I don't think he's in the starting 11 enough to then claim the England squad. I don't think he doesn't play, especially with Casemiro coming back. I don't think
he's played like the last 6 weeks.
What, he plays week in, week out?
Yeah, he's been integral.
Is he?
Yeah, he's been integral.
He's been putting some good performances.
West Ham, he had him not even as a double pick. He had him a bit further forward against West Ham.
Listen, he's next up. I really think he's next up.
And he can play for Ghana as well.
Yeah.
So
they should be on the phone. They should be on the
phone. They
phone.
might just throw that competitive cap.
You're going to throw that competitive cap.
Knock it off.
Having 2 squads.
Let's round off with one of the most entertaining tournaments I've watched in a very long time. AFCON quarterfinals just happened.
The greatest tournament on earth.
You know what? It should be renamed that, innit? Because we mentioned it on our last pod. The entertainment value.
Yeah.
Through the roof.
Like
none of this system ball.
Yeah, but
this is pure football.
Heart and soul. So if we start with Mali 1, Ivory Coast 2. So Mali missed a penalty early in the game.
Yeah.
They go 1-0 up. Ivory Coast are down to 10 men. And then Mali think they're going through. Ivory Coast pop up with a 90th minute equaliser to send the game into extra time. And then the game's back and forth. And then who scored it? Diakite scores the winner. And I can understand the relief and emotion that goes into scoring a winner in the
was it last minute?
122nd minute.
Oh, wow.
But you're already booked. And then you take your shirt off to celebrate. This is what I mean why the tournament's entertaining, isn't it? Anyone else would kind of be like, right, I can't take my shirt off because I'm going to get sent off. And then I'm going to miss the semi-final. It's just brilliant.
Even the refs have been entertaining in it as well.
And then, even in this game, the Mali players were trying to fight the referees. The referee was pushing players.
That was mad.
Bear jostling. The second of yesterday's game, Cape Verde, who have kind of exceeded all kind of
they've done fantastically to get that far.
Held South Africa to a 0-0 draw. South Africa goalkeeper saved 4 out of 5 penalties. And a couple of those were really good.
Even the saves during the game by the goalkeepers were amazing as well.
Really good. And then on Friday, we saw Nigeria beat Angola 1-0 with Lookman.
Is he top goal scorer?
I'm not too sure. I'll have a quick look.
Has he got 3 or 4?
But,
I think he's got 3.
His kind of choice to switch nationality seems to be kind of being vindicated because he's had quite a good tournament. As Vinci said, he scored a couple goals in the tournament. So see out Angola. And then Congo, beat Guinea 3-1. So semi-finals are on Wednesday. We got Nigeria v South Africa at 5 o'clock, being billed as the Amapiano derby. And Ivory Coast v Congo is the latest semi-final.
And they're calling that the Premier Gal derby as well.
Forgive my ignorance. What is that?
Magic. You've not heard the song?
No.
Magic Sister. I'll play it for you afterwards. For
our listeners, what does that mean? So?
It's a song. It's a song, isn't it?
No, but what's the meaning? Their meaning behind it, or
nothing? It's just their songs well known. Countries,
what's the song?
I'll play it for you afterwards.
Who sings it though?
Magic System. Or maybe I'm getting it the wrong way around.
I know what song you're talking
You know,
about.
you know exactly
It's
what
a big
the
thing.
DJs in the
Yeah.
room. All right. So, yeah, that's the end of another week, another pod. As I said at the beginning, please continue liking, sharing, commenting, and all that good stuff. And we will see you next week. Peace.
See you later.
Peace.